Philly cheesesteak, aka cheesesteak sandwich. This is one of my top 10 favorite sandwiches of all time. You've got bread, meat, and cheese. You can't go wrong with that. Those three ingredients are the building blocks of my daily diet. So let's waste no more time and get straight to cooking. All right, for our sandwich, I've got a nice, beautiful piece of ribeye steak, onions, bell peppers, mayo, some white mushrooms, and a freshly baked hoagie roll from a local bakery. All right, let's get our ingredients prepped. Start off by cutting up our bell pepper. And what I like to do is cut around it. This makes it easier to slice, and at the same time I'm not cutting the foamy, I don't know what it's called, but I call it the foamy part of the bell pepper. Let's put that to the side. And let's see, I think that should be enough for our sandwich. All right, and get thin strips like this. There we go. That, a few more, and try to avoid that white piece. All right. Perfect. Push that to the side. Let's get our onion. Like that. Let's cut it in half. And I don't usually cut the bottom. That way the onion doesn't bleed and I'll start crying like a baby in front of the camera. Get that first layer off. All right. And what you can do is get some slices out of it, not too thin. Thick and thin enough where it cooks quick and you can actually taste it in the sandwich. We're not gonna fully caramelize it. There we go, plenty. And then I'd say 3 to 4 mushrooms depending on the size. What I like to do is cut it in half and just chop it up like that. Make sure your knife is nice and sharp to make this as smooth and easy as possible. All right, one more piece and I think that should be plenty. There we go. That is enough for one sandwich. Let's clean this up and start slicing our meat. Now, before you start slicing it, what I did is I put it in the freezer for about 15-20 minutes just to get the surface a little hard when you're slicing it. It's not mushy and it's not getting all over the place. So that's a beautiful piece. So let's get rid of that. Now, you cut it this way. I'll put this to the side and I'll definitely put that to use. Try to get any extra silver skin, if I can say that correctly. Some of the extra fat, trim it down. Now, fat is good, but not the hard pieces. All right, and try to get as thin slices as possible. We're going to be using about 6 ounces of it. I'm going to eyeball that size. Look at that. Beautiful thin slices. With a perfect amount of fat. Let me get rid of this one. Now, if you get some thick slices, that's fine. At the end, we're gonna pile everything on top of each other and dice it up a little bit more. There we go. And at the same time as we're slicing, you know, our steak's going to come back to normal temperature. Not room temperature, it's still going to be cold, but it's going to come back to a, let's say, a cooking temperature. I mean, you don't want to cook your steak right out of the freezer, you know, when you're cooking a nice cut. Now I've preheated my flat top already, so let's start by putting some oil down. Push that around. And let's start with our onion. There we go. I'm going to cook this and break the fibers down a little bit before I add the meat. There we go. And I like to cook this for about 6 to 7 minutes, you know, let the fibers break down before I add the meat. That way I'm not overcooking the meat and burning it. All right, this looks perfect. Perfect timing to throw the meat on the flat top. Start that cooking. Spread them around, and we're going to chop it up a little bit more as they cook. All right, let's season our veggies and meat with some salt and pepper. Use some pepper. And some salt. And as you can see, the meat's pretty much halfway cooked. So at this time, what I like to do is mix the veggies and the meat together and get all those juices from the meat and veggies mixed together. That smells really good. All right, this looks perfect timing to put the cheese on. Now I like to use Monterey Jack cheese. I know traditionally Cheese Whiz is being used, or yellow American cheese, but I prefer Monterey Jack. I don't like the plastic taste of Cheese Whiz or American cheese. There we go. All right, once you put the cheese on the sandwich, on the ingredients on the flat top, let's get our hoagie roll cut up, dressed up with some mayo. Look at that. Freshly baked. Beautiful. Nice. There we go. And let's put some mayo on there, spread it around. That wasn't enough. All right. Whoops. I think that's plenty. What do you think? All right. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay the bread inside down on my steak. That way I can steam the bun at the same time and let the cheese melt and stick to the hoagie roll. All right, cover it up just like this. We're gonna let it sit there for a few seconds. All right, at this time, let's get the sandwich off the grill. Put our spatula under it, flip it over. There we go. Oh, look at that. And push some of those ingredients and meat inside. Look at that, you see the cheese melted. Perfect. All right, let's cut this in half and see what it looks like from the inside. Oh, that's soft. Ready for this? Look at that. Let's see what it tastes like. Look at that. The bun is nice and soft, fresh. Got the bell peppers, mushrooms, onions, cheese. See everything in there. All right, here we go. Nice and soft. The meat is still juicy, not overcooked. Taste the bell peppers, onions. It's not too strong. The sweetness of the white onions is perfect. It's not too sweet. It doesn't overpower the rest of the flavors. And the jack cheese, it's got this interesting taste to it. It just makes it perfect with the steak. Wow. Now while I go ahead and enjoy my sandwich, you go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.